So you want to be a virtual assistant, but you don't know where to start. Hi, welcome back to my channel. If you're new here, my name is Michaela. I kind of wanted to answer some of your most asked questions. Early on in my journey after high school, I felt not suited to the traditional work-life situation. I tried to work in a pet store. That wasn't quite for me. And if I can't do this, I need to figure out what else I'm gonna do. But I kept seeing all this stuff online about how to work online. I found a couple of things that actually spoke to me, and I started off with transcription. Transcription was fun, it was time consuming. My money mindset now is so different from how it was before. Once I'm in a place where I think I have a hold of it, I definitely would like to share how to go about organizing your life and your finances in a way that's actually sustainable. That's where it can be very difficult, especially your first time making anything. As you might have seen, I took a break from making content and just all around talking about virtual assisting. It's not because I stopped doing it, but more so because I got so drawn into the world and I felt stuck in a lot of places in a lot of ways, and there just was so many changes and I was taking on new things, but I felt like I wasn't actually excelling in the things I wanted to do. So I learned a lot. I burnt out. It happens. The thing about virtual assisting is I started off with no experience. I knew that I enjoyed certain things. I knew that I had somewhat of a gauge of organizational skills. I knew that I enjoyed creating, but I didn't know how I could make real money out of it, but how I could merge the worlds of organization and creativity to kind of help someone else. Because that's one thing I've always enjoyed doing, is helping people just to kind of make their life slightly easier. Social media management, if I'm creating content as well, what I get drawn into, as much as it's I figure out dates and how things work together, how am I doing my best to create content that resonates with an audience. What I'm also thinking about is aesthetics and what is pleasing to the eye. People often underestimate the power of aesthetics. I know we can't spend the rest of our lives chasing aesthetics, but it is really important. You can't discourage that pursuit, because oftentimes the right people will see how particular and how detailed something is, and they'll be like, this person pays attention. I want to work with this person. I kind of found ways to use I'm going to call it this, my nitpickiness to my advantage. So one of the biggest things is finding your niche. A lot of people get in their minds that they need to settle on something and stick with it for the rest of the time that they're in the online space. But that's not actually true. When it comes to starting off in freelancing and being a virtual assistant in specific, you kind of need to draw from things you enjoy, skills you already have. One of the biggest things is experimentation. A lot of being online is about experimenting with new things, new ways of being creative, new ways of being organized, and finding new clients. If you can't find your clients posting on Instagram, what are you doing on LinkedIn? Maybe that's where your dream client is. It's all about experimenting, and maybe you want to work in the fitness industry because you like fitness, which is great, but sometimes you might find that maybe you don't like working with fitness coaches because maybe they're quite aligned with you or what if your skills are. But it doesn't mean that your passion for fitness is any less important, but you just might find different things. So it's about experimenting, trying. One of the biggest things about being a virtual assistant is the ability to learn new skills. There's constantly going to be new software out there. So it's about playing at that strength of being able to figure out new things in order to help your clients and help you excel in your virtual assistant career. People often get stuck with this idea of having to find a niche or having to pick a specific thing and stick with that forever. That stops them from starting, but that shouldn't stop you from starting. My philosophy or my dream has always kind of been find a career that doesn't feel like work. Next thing is your potential for growth and your potential for earning. There are so many buzzwords out there. Some people are like, you can make $5,000 do it being a virtual assistant. For sure, you can. It can be a side hustle or it can become your career. That's up to you. But That means that you need to hone in on your skills. Successful virtual assistants are very specific about their skills and how they offer their skills to other people. There are businesses and individuals that are out there looking for you, looking for your skills, your passion, your personality, your drive, all those things. But that means marketing yourself. Marketing yourself is everything. You might be on Instagram right now and not finding your right clients. Maybe it's a matter of the way you're creating content, or it just could be that your ideal client isn't on Instagram. Sometimes they're on LinkedIn. Maybe they're on TikTok. You don't know where they are just yet. Experiment, try, figure it out. Along with being a virtual assistant is that you have so many different things to do. It can be difficult to balance life and work. I believe that being a virtual assistant, one of your non-negotiable skills is time management. This is not to say that if you don't have the greatest time management skills now, that you won't be successful. If anything, time management is a learned skill. But as much as it's learned, you have to put yourself through that over and over again in order for it to become a habit, to know and understand where you can fit things in and where you can't. Part of time management is being able to get tasks complete, but at the same time, you need to balance that with, can I actually do this? Can I say yes to this client for this extra little project? Sometimes it's no. Sometimes we put ourselves through all this extra stuff because we think, I don't want to lose out on this. When in actual fact, the clients that you want will respect your time, but you also got to start respecting your own time. I really enjoy using a lot of different softwares and tools in order to make my life a lot easier when it comes to social media management as well as virtual assisting. So that could be things like Google, different project management tools, all the things. My number one, I've spoken about before, but I'll say it again, is Notion. Over the last few years, I've found that Notion isn't quite the tool for every client, unfortunately, but it's also not the tool for every task and every type of online creative business. However, it has worked really well for me in order for me to plan my own personal life as well as client tasks and managing my time and tracking things like finances, different creative projects that I'm doing on my own terms. Kind of keeps it all kind of together and helps me progress in my understanding of where I want to be in life and in my career. Despite having all these tools and everything, being a virtual assistant and being in the online space, because you're in charge of your own career, you don't have a boss, leads to maybe times when you overextend yourself. That overextension can lead to burnout. I recently burned out and I knew it was coming, but I kind of put it to the back burner and it really hurt me. In a lot of ways, it hurt the way I was growing in my career. I wish I had better words to articulate really how it feels to burn out in your career and how it can affect your life. I really do believe in pursuit of this life that a lot of us want, where we are free to do what we would like, free to pursue the things we want to pursue. A lot comes with finding this balance, but finding ways to set boundaries for yourself as well as setting boundaries for the people that you work with, the people in your life. And burnout can trickle down in so many ways if you don't pay attention to it. One of the ways I'm trying really hard this year, but to avoid it, is to be intentional about the time that I spend with the people that I care about, but also just making time to do nothing. Sounds crazy. When it comes to this whole time management concept, I learned just after high school how important it was for me to slot in time to do nothing. When I was studying and working, I just started as a virtual assistant. I was taking on a lot of tasks that weren't financially aligned, and I also had to study and I was training like crazy. So I had a lot on my plate. But when I stopped studying and I started really reinforcing within my contract and agreements that I worked from Monday to Friday and I stuck to that, that is where I saw that I was excelling again. My excitement for my job, the growth of my career came back because I became intentional about the downtime. And that is something that's really huge. And I think a lot more people need to understand. But I want to encourage you, when you're planning out your life, as you get started and you're learning time management, in order to kind of safeguard yourself for the long run, make sure you allocate time in your life for the things that are important to you, the things that are going to fill your cup. Because as much as earning a little extra money or growing in a career like this can be amazing and can be so rewarding, it can be a lot if you don't manage it correctly. So I hope you enjoyed this video. I hope it gave you a little bit more insight as to what I do, kind of where I'm at now, how you could get started. If you have any questions, I really would like you to leave them in the comments below or DM me. If you're thinking about getting started, this is your sign. Whether it's getting started virtual assisting, social media management, web design, any type of online freelancing, starting your own thing, this is your sign. It's gonna be scary, it's gonna be uncomfortable, but that is where you're gonna see the most growth. That is where you're gonna find your passions, the things you love, the things you enjoy. You're gonna find your people as well. This is your sign to get started. I really enjoyed this and I hope you have too. Leave a like, a comment, subscribe, and I'll see you soon. Wow, so I don't know.